Before we begin, thank you very much to Value Vinyl for joining my Patreon campaign. Very much appreciate the support. And to you especially, I apologize for the delay on the Beast Wars episode reviews. I know you were always looking forward to those. So when I tell you guys that January revenue is always bad for content creators, yeah, mine was down like 30%. So when I say thank you to everyone supporting me on Patreon and allowing me to continue doing this, you're literally helping me survive so I can do this. So thank you guys so much. It means the world to me, and it means I can keep doing this for you. So you support, I make content. Hopefully everyone's happy with that outcome. Hopefully. So I was going to save this for the news recap. I was going to save it for the Monday video, but we can't put this off, can we? Everyone's talking about this, and frankly, if I put it off any longer, it's going to be ice cold by the time I get to talk about it. So, yes, the big toy for Evolution dropped. We actually have our first in-hand shots and tons of in-hand shots of Commander-class Armada Optimus Prime. At long last, yes, a brand new Armada Optimus Prime toy is being released years and years after Takara got us all hyped up over that figure over at Wonderfest. We're going to talk about that figure, and we're going to talk in depth about this one as well. If anyone knows how to ramble on about one single toy, it is me. And I will put the usual disgust for Armada aside. I never have an issue with Armada Prime's design per se. Most of my issues came with just, you know, the downside to the gimmick the original toy had. The new toy doesn't have that, so we get to talk about it in much more glowing appreciation. So let's actually discuss a little bit here. For starters, like the first shot we got was this super potato quality picture, which is kind of how the first time we get a lot of these. It just seems like a Takara sample photo that you would normally see, like, if you're a distributor, you might see these photos. But it's once in a while. It's how we actually get a first look at these things. And yeah, this one got everyone fired up, even though it was just like super blurry 380, 360p quality type photo. But we got plenty more after that, right? We got more we can do. We got more we can see. So for starters, let's look back. 5 some years ago, Takara produced this prototype of Optimus Prime from Armada, put it right beside their Star Convoy remold of Power of the Prime's Optimus, and fired everyone in the fandom up. Oh my god, they're doing a new Armada Prime. Oh my god, it looks so good. And yeah, to this day, this sculpt looks really, really good. And everyone has been asking, literally for like 5 years or more now, where is this toy? Is it getting produced? Is it going to be a masterpiece? Is it going to be a select? What's it going to be? And there's never been an answer. There's never been an answer. To what we can gauge, the only reason this prototype exists was to gauge interest in a non-standard Optimus Prime. How does a fandom respond when we put out something that isn't G1 Optimus? And the response seemed pretty big. And it's one of those things where you can let that hype build up, and you can actually increase the demand by not releasing it. And I feel like that was the case with this. It's the fish hook you put in the water, and then just wait for the big fish to come by and grab it. This one does look really cool. There's a little bit more anime aesthetic and exaggeration to it. You can especially see it in the forearms that are more angled. Some more accentuated details are done to it. It looks cool. And if this was done if they were to resurrect this mold and this sculpt as like a masterpiece Armada Optimus down the road, I don't think anyone would be bothered by that. But that is not the toy we are dealing with. This one for Legacy Evolution, completely new sculpt, completely new design. So we will start with the vehicle mode, which pretty much just looks spot on. I don't know really what to say on this one. Like, it just straight up looks like the Armada Optimus full truck and trailer mode, and it looks perfect. I mean, absolutely perfect. I can't find a fault with it whatsoever. The big blue blocks are there. The shape is correct. The half-track treads in the back. You know, it's supposed to look like this super tough, rugged, like futuristic version of the original Optimus Prime trailer. Still looks that way. You know, and still looks really, really solid and fantastic. So good on them that they got that right. We got a top-down view as well, exposing what seems to be an extra block of parts. It's a component that's going to be used for the base mode. But we also see that, yes, there is a full Optimus Prime, just standard truck mode as well. The super mode fists are a little bit obvious, but I don't think that's too big of a sin. I don't think they were really that well hidden in the original toy either. Yeah, let's talk about the individual robot mode. The individual robot does look really, really good. I mean, it's a unique Optimus Prime. It was one of the first times Optimus Prime as a vehicle was done with no chest window. Also, things like blue forearms were added in. Some visible tires in the shoulders. A lot of elements that give him a much different feel and vibe than his standard G1. And it was something of a refreshing design for Optimus Prime. It was cool to see him back, but he was also doing something new at the same time. I feel like it's almost why some reactions to like Energon Optimus is a little bit more tepid, because it goes back to some of the old tropes and doesn't really handle them well, I feel like. But this one, yeah, this one was memorable for a lot of people. This was a lot of childhoods. A lot of childhoods. You know, for a lot of kids and a lot of people. You might be a collector yourself, somewhere in your 20s that saw this, and this was your Optimus Prime growing up. So this is your moment. You know, this is the moment for the adults that now have become collectors. So, it does look really good. It looks really well articulated. It looks very well proportioned. The upper arms do seem a little bit thin to me, but in the photos, it's hard to differentiate them because they're, the two. I think in 3D, it'll look a lot better than how it looks to me right now. It just seems like the upper arm is a little bit thin. But that might not be the worst thing. We'll show that here in a bit. We got this shot showing off the articulation level, so it looks like it has a full, robust range of articulation, way more than the original toy had. Seems to be more than even the infamous Bendy Optimus, the deluxe class that everyone went to get an articulated Armada Optimus Prime. This one seems to oust even that one, which is amazing considering it still has the combining gimmick. Very, very cool. Really, really cool. We can also see that if you open up the front, the Matrix is there and included. Let's throw the Star Saber in just for the sake of it. It's not included with the toy. But nice to see that the Matrix is included. And it's not the Matrix sculpt they've been reusing over and over for all the Voyager Optimus Primes. It's a brand new sculpt that's accurate to the Armada version of the Matrix. Good on Hasbro. And yes, it does come out. And like many Matrixes, it looks super tiny in Optimus Prime's hands. But you know what? At least he has it. You know, at least it's there, and at least it can be removed should you want to recreate the scene where you give it to Hotshot. And for the love of Primus, why would you give it to Hotshot? But it is doable. It is a feature of the toy. Great to see. There's more posability. Like just letting the super mode hand stick out, which is funny. Yeah, look how deep the pose can get. Look how deep the crunch can get on him. Like super flexible toy. And the size works really well too. It's a large bulky Voyager class in the robot mode. It's very well sized to the Armada Starscream that's already out. Man, it's so weird to see like fully featured, fully detailed, and like just this highly articulated Armada stuff. It's still weird to me. It's cool, but it's a little bit odd, right? Right? Is that just, it might just be me. Might just be me. Good to see though. For those wondering, the forearm guns do come off. They appear to store in the back if you want. Considering it is a 5mm port that they're plugging onto, I don't think they're going to combine into any kind of individual weapon like the Bendy Prime could. I think it's just if you want to swap it out for some different weaponry. That seems to be the intention behind that. I mean, could be wrong. Don't think I am though. I think that's the intention. So let's see what else. What else can we do here? What was next on this list? Oh yeah, we need to talk about the accuracy. All right, so when it comes to the accuracy to the animation, that is a little bit strange to talk about because, of course, it's Armada, where the animation was, at best, inconsistent. So, like in this shot, for instance, where Optimus's arms are apparently held on solely by his tires on his shoulders, which is a really weird look. It's a really weird look. In other shots, you can see where the shoulders actually include this big, heavy, wide section, and they kind of stretch out and they kind of hinge outward from that. And like that's actually a pivot point. But if you look at other shots, those are separate pieces that rotate forward. This seems to be closer to what the new toy is trying to do. So accuracy is going to be basically dependent on what episode you watch at the time in order to gauge the accuracy. I do like that it is still a very wide-shouldered look. It's very different from standard Optimus Prime. It has very standard proportions for a Transformer. But it does sometimes, this is going to lend it to look a little bit thin in the upper shoulder, which is how the toy looks. But from this, you can kind of see that that might be completely intentional. I'd have to rewatch like full sections of Armada to determine it. Someone also gave the base mode a pass. Now keep in mind, there's no accessories to this. It's just the loose figure that is snuck out of the factory. So we don't know if this is the accurate base mode or not. You can see that there is engineering specifically for it. The guns in the front, for instance, do have a stand to stand on in this mode. And the gun turret seems correctly placed. Obviously, it is not the original. The original was, keep in mind, if you ever saw the original Armada Optimus, the whole thing was basically a box that turned inside out to form his legs via motor. And those motors would stop halfway in between in order to create the base, which had like a multi-layered tower in the middle, and then just extensions out that are the panels that made up the legs. So it wasn't really the greatest base mode, but it was large and it fit a lot of minicons. This is a very different take. It's more like the battle station mode that a lot of base modes for these toys have been lately, like Motor Masters, for instance. It's there. You can say it is there. It does show off a few things that are neat. For instance, the missiles that are going to be on the super mode's legs do point forward, so you actually have that as a function. And yeah, like it seems to fit Deluxes and Voyagers just fine. So it's going to be a play pattern. At least you have it as an option. Ooh, and then we get to the super mode. And the super mode looks fantastic. So because of the original transformation, the original super mode legs couldn't move at all. They were just one big static brick. And they had this big accordion of panels behind it for all the little platforms of the base mode. Here we've completely done away with all of that. And he actually gets to, for the first time in the official line, have fully articulated legs in the super mode. And that's what I wanted. He looks fantastic here. Even though he's pointing a gun at me, I still really, really like him. Yeah, so the posability in the super mode seems great. Doesn't look like he has a waist joint because of how the toys have to combine, but everything else seems to be there. I can see the universal shoulders, I can see the wrist rotation, the ankle tilt, thigh swivel, bicep swivel, everything swivel. He has so much more posability than the original. The original was literally a 5 points of posability toy. This one is probably closer to like 15 or 20. It is so good looking. Oh, it's so good looking. Here he is with a few minicons and a few Micromasters. So if you have those old Micromasters, remember, a lot of them formed guns. Not that they were very good guns, but they did form guns, which means there are 5mm pegs that fold out, and you can attach them. So they can pass for minicons if you so choose. And it might give new life to some of those Micromasters you've been ignoring at the bottom of your play bin for the last few years. And hopefully I wouldn't even mind if there are a few that could match up to some of the classic minicons. I actually wouldn't mind them repainting and re-releasing them somehow just to bulk out Optimus. He does not come with his own spark plug. This is still bothersome to me that and you're telling me this is going to be like an $80-$90 toy when it's released, and yet there was no budget for a minicon of all things. Stupid. Feels stupid. So you can see on the back, if you want to store, like there's a few different spots where you can store that extra weapon kibble from the base mode. This is not the most convenient spot. It seems like there's one on the back that's a little bit better. Or you don't have to have it at all. So other than that, like, yeah, there's some junk on the back, but it could definitely be worse. Definitely not as bad as the original. You can see where I mean, like, it seems like that center mounting point is going to be a lot better for storing any of the extra junk from the base mode. Or, you know, you can find some place to mount it as a weapon, I'm sure. You know, this Optimus was pretty hefty when it came to firepower. Yeah, it was so good. And then there you can actually see how, like, get a little bit of an idea of how they combine and how, like, what the trailer is transforming into. A lot of good stuff, like a lot of really good stuff. Like I'm gonna say, like, I do have to give a shout out. So like we have, I'm pulling these images off of TFW 2005, who's crediting Nova Maximus, Pixel Master, Buster Master, and Famduk for posting all these different photos of exactly what these toys look like. Pretty fantastic. So that's our rundown. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to it. Like literally, like if I go, like you go back and look at some of these super mode pics, like literally the only complaints to even have to this is like maybe there's a few paint apps missing, and someone pointed out that yes, the eyes are actually yellow in this shot. So that's a little bit weird because they should be red in the super mode, but you know, there's a matter of consistency. Also, let's see if I can do a quick little bit of a Easter egg here. We look at the bottom corner, and we can see that not only is there's an Optimus Prime core class that has his Energon axe. I did speculate that that toy would be getting reissued at the end of Legacy with the axe that is currently included in Nemesis Prime. So it looks like I was spot on there. What I didn't predict is that that is a core class Grimlock with a double barrel rifle with blast accessories that is so far completely unknown. So this is either a custom piece, or we've got something on the way to actually arm up our core class Dinobots, or potentially even more. We have had a lot of speculation and talk about accessory packs lately. So thank you to the photographers for throwing in a little bit of hype Easter egg along with these primes. And thank you guys for watching. Yeah, I've never been a huge supporter of Armada, but I do really like some of the design work, even if the original toys do not convey it very well. So to start seeing some of these in fully fleshed out and realized design, I think is pretty fantastic, and I'm looking forward to more. We've got a Megatron on the way too. I really want to see how the Megatron came out now. So thank you for watching. I hope you're hyped up for Prime, and hopefully I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.